Hello everybody, welcome to my video today. I am really excited to share with you a really fun card. This is a card that I don't often make these kinds of cards, but I'm making it for a special occasion and I thought I would share with you. I saw this on another channel, so I'm gonna link her channel down below and you can check it out. She has some really cool cards that are kind of like this. So make sure you go over and subscribe to her channel and give her some love. She did an amazing job sharing this particular card. Also for you guys, I have an exclusive PDF that has all of the measurements and photos of this card. So if you want to make this card and you're like me and you need specific measurements and it's easier for you if you have them written down, you can print the PDF in the YouTube description below or on my website. You will see the link for the PDF and you can just click on that and print it out. So let me show you guys the card first, and then we're going to dive into making it. This is the card that I'm going to show you how to make. Is this not the most adorable card ever? Look, it has this little flip up this way, and this is my test one, so you're going to see the ink was not dry when I closed it, and then you open it up like this, and it is adorable. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using these two items here, the Hey Birthday Chick, and then the Hey Chick. So these are both really fun. They have dies, and so we're going to use the dies and the stamp sets and all of that. So the thing that I've done is I have all of the pieces to this card already cut and ready to go. I'm going to try my best to remember measurements as I go, but again, you can get that PDF with all of the measurements to make this. Now, the reason that I've cut everything first is because it would just take forever for me to do this, cut everything and do it all with you guys. So the first thing that you're going to need is a piece of real red cardstock, and this is cut at 3 3/4 by 8 1/2. And then we're going to do some scoring, and we're going to score at 1 3/4. And I don't use the score thing on my trimmer. I just use a bone folder. And then the next score mark we're going to make is 5 1/8. And I hope I did that right. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So then what you're going to do is just take your bone folder, score that really well. And then what I found is that I needed to take a tiny sliver off of this. You can see how it does this curve. And so what I did, and what the gal suggested, I think her name's Lauren, I'm not positive, is to just take a sliver off the bottom of that so that it folds flat. So that was an easy fix. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is take your stitched triangles, and you're going to take the largest stitched triangle, and we're going to attach this to the top. So we're going to put adhesive here on the top flap, not on your triangle. And it's okay, you're going to see some adhesive peeking out, but that's okay. You're going to line up the bottom of your triangle to the bottom of the flap, okay? So then you're going to close it like so. So you have it closed. And then you're going to take a pair of scissors and you are going to trim all the way through all of the layers. So just follow that triangle and cut all the way through. So now you have this, okay? So the next thing that you want to do is cut, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 of these. And these are one, I want to say they're like an 1/8 or 1/4. Well, I can't remember now, you guys. 1/8 by 4, I think is what these are. Again, please just check the the PDF for all of the correct measurements. I just knew that this is not a card that I normally do. And so because of that, I knew, one, I would be nervous putting this card together, and two, I would not be able to remember all of the exact measurements. So I just created a PDF for you guys. So you're going to start by attaching this bottom one, and you'll see that it doesn't go all the way, and that's okay, because your next two are gonna go right on the edge here. And I'm using liquid glue. You have to be careful when using the liquid glue because it does get sticky and it will kind of muck up your white cardstock if you get glue everywhere. So the first one I'm going to line up with the edge like so. And then the second one, I'm going to line up with the white at the top, like this. And mine was not quite long enough. You can see that little bit of white. Oh, that makes me sad. See, this is the kind of card I always mess something up. So you're gonna see yours will stretch all the way. I have a little bit of white there, and I'm gonna fix that. Let me show you how, off the top of my head, how I'm gonna fix that. So we're gonna trim off those like that. And the way I'm gonna fix this little tiny one is by just adding my gel pen. I'm just gonna add a little bit of white right there. And that's gonna fix it. It's going to be a little fix. It's totally fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a really fun card to make. So the next pieces that we're going to want to do is going to be the eggs up here. So what you're going to do is take your layering ovals and we're going to layer these together. You're going to want the smallest oval. You're going to cut the red from, and then the second smallest one, you will cut the white. When I first did this, I did it opposite. I cut the red first and then the white. So just make sure that you cut the white first and then the red. And then what I did, I'm gonna try to get this in the camera here, is I just stuck this in my trimmer about the middle of it. And I cut it. You could snip it with scissors if you wanted. But I just cut it with my trimmer. And then I'm gonna add snail. Now I'm using snail, liquid glue, and glue dots. That's what I'm using for adhesive, whatever you're more comfortable with. So I'm just lining this up so it's, somewhat in the middle. Okay, the only tricky part for this one is this piece right here is actually from the All Dressed Up dies, and it's this piece right here. Now, this is not what the other gal used. She used another die. It was a floral die. I didn't have that die. So I just looked through my dies to try to find something that would work as a hay bale. So this I thought worked pretty good, and I'm going to trim off this part here. It's going to get covered up anyways, so that's totally fine. I'll put a little bit of liquid glue here on the back. And I'm going to put this all the way down to the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is trim off that piece here. And that's going to look like a little hay bale. I'm sure there's lots of other dies that will work the same. And it's really not a huge deal because your eggs are going to cover them up. So the next thing that I did was I took the dies and these two eggs right here, I cut, and you're going to want to cut 10. That's how many you're going to need. So when you're cutting these first ones, you can just cut 10 of them and prep them all at once. And so what I've done here is I have colored them with the lightest mint macaroon blend. So they're a slight green tint. The first egg is gonna tuck under the hay bale, and you can angle that a tiny bit if you want. We're just gonna layer these, and I'm using a glue dot, and then we'll layer one here like so. And that just, the mint macaroon gives it a little bit of a tint, and then just like that. And you can see that it looks like a little hay bale. So the next thing we're going to do is work on this part here. So you're going to have a couple pieces here. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you to refer to the PDF for these measurements, okay? So you're going to need these items here and then this one here, okay? So on the PDF, I'll make it very clear what pieces are which, okay? So here are the white pieces. This tiny piece here, we're just gonna fold in half. I'm not even gonna bother trying to score it. I'll just fold it in half and then use my bone folder to give it a nice score. This piece here is gonna go here, okay? So let's work on this part, which is the door part here. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna need your strips. And what I did is I just very gently folded it in half and pinched the top of it. And that gave me my middle mark. And then I just ran my bone folder down and I just eyeballed kind of the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. Now this is where it's gonna get a tiny bit messy with your liquid glue, so you wanna be careful. I put glue on the entire piece, and then from the corner to the corner, I run that white piece. Then we're gonna flip it over and use our snips. And see, that fell right on top of my desk with the glue side down, which is gonna make my desk messy, but that's okay. So then the next piece, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna run that to the corner, and it's okay. You can see here, it looks a little bit messy, but that's okay. The main thing is that you want these white pieces to cover your corner. Okay, so you can snip this off, because once we run the middle piece down the middle, then you won't see the messiness, right? So then you're gonna do the same thing again. Always trim your pieces from the back. Okay, so then the next piece that we're going to do is going to be the middle piece. So you'll just add this right to the middle, and then it's going to cover up any of that craziness from meeting in the middle. Like so. Okay, so then this piece here is gonna go on top of your second white piece, and that's gonna give it that border. Okay, on the skinnier piece, this is where we're gonna do some stamping. We are going to use Memento Black. We're gonna stamp here, "You're still a spring chicken." That's cute. And then this little guy here with the birthday, okay? And you're gonna do this at an angle, like so. We're gonna set that aside to dry, and we're gonna set all of these pieces aside. The last time I didn't do that, and everything smeared and kind of ruined my card. So we'll do the outside last. We're gonna open up the inside of our card. Now, it looks like I didn't cut my inside piece. So you'll have a Whisper White piece here. And it's 2 inches by 3.5 is, I believe, this measurement, but double check the PDF, okay? But we'll skip that part because I don't have a piece for that yet. And then let's work on this top piece here. So what I have is I used Early Espresso for these pieces, Early Espresso and Crumb Cake. You can use soft suede. That's what the other video did. And then I also used Early Espresso for the stamping. And then I'm going to stamp these 2 images, and I'm going to do them sort of at an angle, and they are going to hang off so you can see that. And then I'll stamp this one, and it's fine if they hang off because they're going to look like they're sitting in hay. Okay, so I am giving this card to Wendy. Some of you guys may follow her here on YouTube, Wendy Cranford. Her and I have been friends for a long time, like 25, 30 years. And she has all the animals. If you guys follow her, you know, she has the dogs and the cats and the chickens. And I always tell her that I'm not an animal person at all. Like, I just am not. We're not animal people in our house. And I always give her a hard time because I'm like, you're the reason I'm not an animal person because you tell me all these crazy animal stories. And I got one of her emails a couple weeks ago, and the title of it was like, my chicken lost its eye or something. And I messaged her. I replied to the email and I was like, this is why I don't have animals, because of you. Because every time I think, oh, it'd be fun to have chickens or a cat or a dog, there's always some story that she tells me of some horrific thing that's happened with the animals. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. We don't need animals. So I replied to that email and said that to her. And she was like, it was just my stamped chicken that lost its eye. It wasn't a real chicken. And I was like, oh, thank God. But I wouldn't be surprised if you were sending out an email and telling a story about how one of your chickens lost an eye. So she totally laughed. So I'm doing this card for her birthday, and she's going to be shocked because she knows that I don't make these kinds of cards, but I'm going to give it to her for her birthday. And I think she'll really enjoy it and she'll totally keep it. So I cut out happy birthday from a piece of Bumblebee cardstock, and I'm going to add this. The other funny thing is that I gave her birthday present at the beginning of January. Her birthday is the beginning of March. And I was like, here's your gift. Don't open it until your birthday. And she called me like last week and was like, can I please just open my gift? Like, I can't take it. And I was like, yeah, you can totally open it. I was like, I'll have a card for you on your birthday, but go ahead. So it was kind of funny. So what I did for these is in your set of dies, it's this one right here, and it creates the look of hay. So all I did was cut it the length of these squares, and then I'm going to put them closer to the bottom so that it extends the look of that. I didn't have to color these at all. I was able to just stamp them, which with a card like this where you're putting in a lot of work with die cutting, sometimes you don't want to have to color everything as well. Okay, so now let me just cut really quickly a white panel, and then our stuff should be dry. So I believe that this is 2 inches. Let's just guess 2 inches, and I think it's by 3.5. I'll be shocked if that's exactly right. Okay, so then let's see if this is, well, it totally is. So that worked out. So that's our inside panel. And that's where I'll write a little message, and we'll just put it right in here. So now that the inside is done and I don't have to open and close. Oh, the last thing we're going to do for the inside is we're going to add the rest of our eggs. So I'm doing this with glue dots. So just put the glue dots, and I'm going to put 1 here. We'll put 2 on one side and 3 on the other. like so. And I've lost one of my eggs. I think it's on the floor. I think I knocked it down. So we'll do 2 and 2, but I'll show you how I did the 3 in the other card. Okay, so that's the inside. And then here for the outside, let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this little piece that we made, and this piece is, I think it's, we'll check the PDF. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't wanna give you guys wrong measurements. And we're gonna use this as a little hinge. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do it this way, where I'm gonna put this piece here. Okay, so we'll attach this piece to this piece, and then let's fold it over. Okay, so we attached it to the back. See how we did that? And then on this piece, we're going to put the adhesive on that piece. And then we're gonna line this up. And it's a little smaller than our regular door. So we're just gonna line that up. And you can see mine's a little tiny wonky. And then on the back of this, we're gonna put adhesive. You might wanna use a strong adhesive like tear and tape, but I think that this is gonna be okay. And then we're gonna attach this to the front. Now I think there was probably some ink left on my pad here, and so it got on there. So I'm just gonna take my mono eraser and remove that. And then I'm also gonna add another layer of this white to fix that little corner that I messed up on. It's all fixable, right? Everything's fixable. Okay, so here is the card. You open up that panel like so, and then we'll color this guy, and then you open up the card like this. How stinking cute is that? So the very last thing is, let's color this. So I need a yellow, I'm gonna go with a Bermuda Bay. And I'm just gonna use my blends, but I'm not gonna do anything fancy. Okay? Oh, and then my, this light mint macaroon. And we'll do the egg in that. You could leave the eggshell white if you wanted. And then I just like using my blends because they just make a nice, easy coloring. So we'll do that yellow, and then I'm using a pumpkin pie, and we'll add the color here, and then we'll do Bermuda Bay. And I guess we can do, I'm gonna do like a blue. This is balmy blue, so it'll be Bermuda Bay and balmy blue. Not that big of a contrast, but then there is the card. Oh my gosh, you guys, I had so much fun making this card, and I really can't wait to give this to her because she's gonna be shocked that I made something like this. So I'll write a little message in there. And then I have a little other item for her that she can open up on her actual birthday. But I love it. So make sure you grab the PDF, check out the original video for this, and give it a thumbs up, and even like her channel. She did a great job with this, and I was so excited to see this and make this. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will be back tomorrow with a Project Life video for you guys, a documenting video. And then on Saturday, I will have another organizational video for you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys later.